to the State House. To those of you that are at your table, please come and take a seat. This is history today. Please come and take a seat. To those of you who are tabling, come and take, hey, my sister, come and take a seat. Come on. I'm not going to start until you come and take a seat. Thank you. Am I being bossy?
Are you being bossy?
Am I being bossy? Okay.
I'm not here to judge.
You're not here to judge. Okay, they're going to judge. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Ooh, this is our 25th annual Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month opening ceremony in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Yes, yes. Just going to give you a little bit of history about when this started. Enacted in 2000, Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month is a long-month effort to inform, influence, and impact how society views and responds to families of murdered victims. The Awareness Month offers an opportunity to educate the public, policymakers, and faith leaders about the effect that murder has on families and communities, and to uplift the peace-building efforts of survivors. It provides a dedicated space around the holiday season for us as survivors to gather in community, to celebrate, and to honor our loved ones. I want to thank all of our elected officials, our guests who are present at this event. I want to acknowledge, well, we'll hear from our senator. I want to acknowledge Lieutenant Dan Duff of the Boston Police Department. If you're here, please, Lieutenant, wave so that know that you are here. He's in the back, standing. And anyone else from the BPD that are here. I want to now invite us to, is my state rep here? Why are you in the back? Get over here. Introduce the legislative sponsors for the event today. Senator Collins is not here. Representative Chris Worrell, please come up. And also Senator Liz Miranda will also be here with him. So if the both of you can come up, Representative, welcome us to our house, and then we'll turn it over to the senator. Why is he still? And of course, our district attorney, Suffolk County, Kevin Hayden is here.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the People's House. Sadly, I have to get back to the district. You know, it's turkey time and it's real busy. And so I'm really happy and proud to be here with my brothers in service, our district attorney, Kevin Hayden, and our representative, Chris Worrell. Why don't you guys give them a round of applause? As you guys know, grief and loss there's nowhere in the Commonwealth that is immune to that. We have 351 cities and towns, and every city and town in the Commonwealth has felt the stench of losing people to gun violence, whether it be police violence, whether it be domestic violence, whether it be community violence. It's just that our communities are disproportionately impacted. So I want to say three things before I have the honor and privilege of reading the proclamation from our governor and lieutenant governor this morning who could not be here. This is 25 years, y'all. So we should be giving it up to Clementina and her team, everybody that's at the Peace Institute. If you guys could stand up if you work at the Peace Institute, and let's put our hands together for 25 years. I know this work isn't easy. I know each and every time there's someone that walks through that door, and I have had the displeasure of having to walk through that door in 2017 because of my brother Michael's death. And this morning, I actually went to the traveling exhibit, and I said to the young lady, I wonder if my brother's here, and immediately realized he was in the middle of that presentation. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart to the Peace Institute that you've helped me too. You've helped my family. And you continue to help me and my family, and that's why I owe a lot of gratitude to you, Miss Chéry, and to Rachel and your daughter on the team. And the second thing I want to say is that there's a very important bill here at the State House on unsolved homicides. Thankfully, my brother's homicide was solved, but there's over 1,050, even in the city of Boston, that have not been cleared. And those families never get the peace that they need, and particularly over the holidays. And so it's a very important bill that we worked on, and want you guys to follow it, talk to your legislators about it so we can get it done. And the third thing I want to say is that this is a whole month. Today is the start of this month, but there'll be dozens of events in community, at churches, put on by many of the people in this room. Please go out and support these individuals, because we're nothing without the partners that are doing the work in their grief in our community. So without further ado, I want to read this amazing proclamation on 25 years from the Commonwealth. It's pretty. You get a copy of it. It says, whereas murder victims are loved, they are grieved by their mothers, their fathers, sisters, brothers, sons and daughters, husbands, wives, partners, grandparents, aunts and uncles, extended family members, friends, neighbors, classmates, and colleagues across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And whereas all families of murder victims deserve to be treated with dignity and compassion. And whereas surviving family members need coordinated, compassionate, and consistent support and services in the immediate aftermath of a murder, and ongoing opportunities for healing in the months and years afterward. And whereas survivors of homicide victims experience overwhelming grief, isolation, and despair, especially during the holiday season. And whereas survivors of homicide victims want to remember and honor their loved ones' lives, regardless of the circumstances surrounding their deaths. And whereas survivors of homicide victims are using their tragedies to inform, to influence, to impact public policy so that all living children can grow up in a safe and peaceful community. And whereas survivors and the providers who serve them use the 7 principles of love, of peace, which are love, unity, faith, hope, courage, justice, and forgiveness as a foundation to guide them on their journey toward healing. And whereas interrupting cycles of retaliatory violence is essential to promoting peace in our state. And whereas survivor-led initiatives across this great state are transforming the way society responds to homicide. Now, therefore, I am not her, Maura T. Healy, the governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim November 20th through December 20th to be Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month. Let's give it up for our great tag team. So I hope you guys enjoy the program. I'll see you in community. And now I'd like to give it up for our great Representative Chris Worrell.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, man, so I'm from a small Pentecostal church in Dorchester. So what we do is call and response, and we do it well. So can we try that one more time? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us at the Massachusetts State House as we recognize the 25th Annual Survivors of Homicide Awareness Month, a solemn moment when we honor lives taken too soon. Stand with families carrying the unimaginable loss and uplifting the powerful truth that the survivors are among the greatest peace builders in our Commonwealth. Across Massachusetts, 186 cities and towns, 53% of our state have been touched by homicide. But what those numbers cannot show is the extraordinary courage survivors demonstrate every single day. Their strength doesn't appear in headlines. Their leadership isn't always seen from a podium, but it's seen in living rooms, in community centers, in classrooms, in circles of grieving families. They are holding communities together. They are interrupting the cycles of retaliation. They are restoring hope when trauma has settled in. Survivors are the frontline workers of peace. And their story is one that has shaped not only a community, but this entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts. In 1993, a mother in Boston received a call every parent fears. Her 15-year-old son had been shot and killed on his way to a Teen Against Violence Christmas party. And the shattering silence followed. She faced a choice: allow her heartbreak to harden into hate, or to transform her pain into purpose. Guess what she chose? She chose purpose. She began meetings with other grieving families. She created a space for healing where none existed. She built tools and protocols that guided thousands through their darkest moments in their lives. And she did it all with one unwavering belief: peace is possible. Only after that journey, a journey no parent should ever have to take, did the Commonwealth come to know her as Clementina Chéry, the founder of Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. Give it up for Clementina. Clementina's leadership has taught Massachusetts and the nation that survivors are not simply enduring loss. They are actively preventing future harm. They are stabilizing neighborhoods, uplifting young people, guiding institutions, and speaking truth to policymakers like myself. Her work shows us what is possible when survivors are seen, supported, and empowered. That is why this year I am proud to secure $500,000 in the state budget for organizations like the Peace Institute, and to advance a statewide homicide response protocol so no family in the city or town must navigate tragedy alone. And also, I continue to champion an act relative to bereavement leave, because grief shouldn't never cost someone their job. Survivors deserve time, compassion, and dignity as they rebuild their lives. But our responsibilities cannot end here. If we believe survivors are peace builders, and we must, then the Commonwealth need to invest in full implementation of the Homicide Response Protocol, strength, trauma, informed supportive statewide, and center survivors in every conversation in public safety. Today, we affirm this truth. Survivors are not only the heart of our communities, they are the architects of peace. May their courage guide us, may their leadership inspire us, and may we honor them not just this month, but with meaningful actions all year long. Thank you, and God bless, and welcome to the People's House.
This is my state representative, 5th Suffolk District, Dorchester! Yeah! Thank you again, Representative and Senator who had to leave, again, Community Works. What I would love to do is introduce, he needs no introduction. He is a friend, he is a brother, and he leads the Massachusetts Office for Victims Assistance. I will let him tell his story. He is a sibling survivor. So as survivors, we are not just here survivors, we are also leading institutions. Mass Office for Victims Assistance, and my friend and my brother, Liam Lowney.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. Thank you, Clementina, the Peace Institute, for this and giving me a chance to say hi again. I have to say, we've gotten from Clementina and the good representative a little history around this day. All that time ago, I was in this work about 2 years, and I was invited to a meeting in this very room with Clementina and then State Rep Marie St. Fleur, and Clementina talked about an idea. And several people in the room were like, what? Clementina always knew what this could be. She always explained what this could be and talked about how important this could be. And while it happened much sooner than now, but 25 years later, this is exactly what Clementina was talking about all those years ago. So thank you very much for making this happen. And I too want to thank Senator Miranda and Representative Worrell for your advocacy for crime victims. We need friends in this House. We rely on them. At the Mass Office for Victim Assistance, we are committed to survivors of homicide families. Clementina said, I'm a survivor myself. Next month will be 31 years since my sister Shannon was murdered. I know what it means to support families in the days, the months, the weeks, the years after. Ours is not a quick healing. It's an ongoing one that we incorporate into our lives. And I just want to promise you that we at the Mass Office for Victim Assistance are committed to supporting you, supporting the programs that support you, elevating your voices here and everywhere else, because it is truly, I always say this, survivor voices that can tell us what you need, how you need it, when you need it, if we just ask you. And so please speak up when we ask. So now, I have to say, now more than ever, we need the funding. We need the funding that Representative Worrell talked about. We need a commitment here at this legislature. Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, none of these programs operate without the funding to hire staff, hire advocates, hire survivor peer mentors. These programs need funding. And we can't rely on the federal money alone. We need an investment from this building so that in Massachusetts, we're supporting survivors with Massachusetts values. We're supporting all survivors because that's what they need, that's what they deserve. So I would ask you to work with us over the course of the next year in this building, talk to your representatives, talk to your senators, and ask them to please support funding for survivors of violence. It's really necessary. It's a critical time right now. Our programs really need the funding, and our survivors really need the help. So I would ask you to work with us on that. I also wanted to say I'm really grateful and excited to mention to you something that did come out of advocacy, which is that this year the Victim Compensation and Assistance Program was moved to the Mass Office for Victim Assistance. Thank you. We're really excited. We're just starting, and there's a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of catching up to do. So if you are a survivor that are engaged with us around Victim Comp, please reach out and work with us. We will do our best to get back to you. We are committed to breaking down the barriers that program has had by statute, by regulations. There's a number of things that we're going to have to change in the law to break those barriers down, but we're committed to doing it. And so we're really excited for that opportunity to work with survivors and really support them because there's the emotional impact, there's our life-changing impact of losing a loved one, and there's a financial impact. And we need to do what we can to support survivors. So finally, I just want to say, as we embark on December, it's a month often of celebration. It's a month of families coming together. There's a lot of wonderful moments that happen now. It can also be really hard, right? Let's just acknowledge it. Let's just say it out loud. You're not alone. You're not alone. You may feel alone. You're not. There's a community of survivors in this room, in community. There's a community of providers, professional and survivor providers who want to be with you. They want to help you. They want to support you. We're all in a club that we didn't choose to be in, but we're better when we're in it with each other. And so with that, thank you for being here. My best to you, and I wish you nothing but hope and peace in the days and months to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Liam. Again, we are survivors of homicide victims. We come in many color, class, culture, and from diverse community. This is not a Black issue. This is not an urban issue. This is not a gang violence issue. This is a human rights issue. So thank you again. It is my honor to introduce to you two of our speakers today. One, Lisa Randolph. She is a tremendous survivor advocate and a part of the Unsolved Homicide Ambassadors, a group of survivors who meet regularly to shine light on their loved ones' unsolved cases, build connections, and advocate for justice across the Commonwealth for unsolved cases. Lisa is one of many survivors who is featured in the Unsolved But Not Forgotten report. She is a sibling survivor. Her brother, Terrain Randolph, who was killed in Roxbury in 1991, Terrain's case remains unsolved to this day, and his name is listed in the newly released Unsolved Homicide Dashboard that was announced by the Boston Police Department. And thank you again for the sergeant for being here and for our liaisons. Where are they? Please stand. Where are they? Please stand so people can see you. Officer Orion and Officer Cabral, again. They are the glue that keeps us together and connected with the homicide unit. So thank you again for always being present. Terrain case, let's see, where am I? Lisa advocates for justice. She is inspired by the survivors that have mentored her throughout her healing journey and strives to be a light in the darkness for other survivors. Let's give a very high love welcome to Lisa Randolph.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Randolph, and I speak today as a survivor and the sister of my loving brother, Terrain Randolph, who was tragically killed in 1991. Terrain was 20 years old. At the time when my brother was killed, I would keep my grief in the shadows so that others wouldn't know what I was feeling inside. I was struggling at work and found it hard to advocate for myself. I felt like a puzzle of pieces that was scattered all over the floor. But over the last 3 decades, I have done the work to pick up each piece and feel whole again. When preparing for this speech, Pace asked me if there was a moment in my life where I felt like my pain transformed into power. The truth is, I don't know if there was ever a single isolated moment where I felt my courage blossom, but rather seeing miracles, both big and small, in my everyday life, has motivated me in my healing journey. I feel Terrain's presence with me everywhere. He is my miracle, and his spirit inspires me with courage to share my story and advocate for change. Another inspiration to me has been community organizer and survivor Mary Franklin. I remember seeing a video of Mary years ago telling her story of how she's organizing for justice after her husband Melvin was killed. I remember thinking, that could be me. Mary was a toughie, a strong woman and a beacon of light. One day I called her, and although she was dying of cancer, she still made the time to meet with me to talk about how I can advocate for justice for my brother. I was proud to join Mary and other survivors as we demonstrated at the police department and the DA's office, advocating for justice for unsolved homicide cases. Mary was not only a community organizer, but she was my advocate. She cared about me, my brother, and his case. Her leadership showed me what kind of advocate I would like to be. After Mary passed away of cancer, I got deeply involved with the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute and the Unsolved Homicide Ambassadors. In that space, I've had many opportunities to learn, grow, and lead. The Unsolved Ambassadors has taught me to show up as myself, and that working collectively meaning celebrating our unique voices. For me, I strive to bring light to the table. Now, when the world beats me down, I stand my ground. I strive to be a bright light in the world around me, fostering hope for a more peaceful world. I've made a career out of caring for others' people, always striving to be a helping hand. Justice for unsolved homicide cases. Mary was not only a community organizer, but she was my advocate. I hope that during this year's Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month, we can all find peace from the miracles that happened every day. I hope that we all can strive for justice for our loved ones and be a bright light in the world. Thank you.
You good? You see that? It's all for you. Okay? Acknowledge. You got it? Yeah. Okay. Amen. When Survivors speaks, come on, people. When Survivors speaks, there you go. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Your brother would be proud. Another part of the journey, sibling survivors. Their grief is different. And thank you for letting us know that and sharing that with us. Next, it is my honor to introduce Jarix Santiago. She was born and raised and currently resides in Springfield, Massachusetts. Jarix serves as a chief of programs for the Department of Youth Services at the New North Citizen Council, where she is passionately dedicated to empowering young people through comprehensive support services. There, she also served as a youth worker coordinator in school programs and supervisor of the street workup team. Tragically, Jarix lost her father to gun violence at the age of 6, a personal loss that has fueled her lifelong commitment to transforming the lives of young people in Western Massachusetts. Her dedication to fostering positive change drives her unwavering commitment to empowering the next generation of peacemakers in her community. Please give a huge love welcome to Jarix Santiago.
I'm much shorter, so. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. As mentioned, my name is Jarix Santiago, and I was born and raised in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's an honor to stand here before you. 23 years ago, I lost my father, Felipe Santiago, at just 25 years old to gun violence. I was only 6 years old, 2 weeks shy of my 7th birthday. That loss deeply affected my life, introducing me to great sorrow, while also sparking a passion for peace and supporting others. Growing up without my father taught me that living in a world filled with violence can feel overwhelming. My journey through grief was not just about mourning the loss of someone I loved, but it was to understand the broader implications of violence in our communities. Today, I had the privilege of serving as a chief of programs for the Department of Youth Services at New North Citizens Council. I work in the north end of Springfield, Mass., the very same community where I lost my father, literally 5 streets away from where I lost him. The area holds significant meaning for me, as it reminds me of my roots and it drives my commitment to serve. In my role, I lead initiatives aimed at uplifting and empowering young adults facing many challenges. We provide various services, including training and mental health support and youth development programs. Connecting communities impacted by violence is at the heart of my role. As a peacemaker, I believe in the values of love, hope, and forgiveness. Love motivates me to speak up for others who feel unheard. Hope encourages young people to see a brighter future, and forgiveness allows us to move past our old wounds, creating room for new relationships to grow. Each of these values guides my work and reminds me of the potential in every person. I hope I can inspire all of you to reflect on the role you can play in promoting peace in your own communities. No action is too small. Whether it's reaching out to someone who needs help, or having difficult conversations, or volunteering at organizations such as those here today. Let us all work together to build a culture of compassion, understanding, and healing. Through our combined efforts, we can turn our pain into a strong force for good, transforming not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. Together, we can create a future where love and unity prevail division and violence. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being a part of this amazing ceremony.
Receive it, receive it. Look at that, look at that, look at that, okay? Thank you. She came all the way from Springfield, Massachusetts. Thank you. I want to give our Pace McConkie, our policy manager and the organizer of today, a few minutes to really talk about some call to actions before I turn it over. Again, this is a very short ceremony, so we're getting ready to close so you can do much more networking. Pace?
I gotta put it up as high as it goes. Thank you, Clementina, and I'm very deeply humbled to be here and to follow the remarks of Lisa and Jarix, 2 of my dear friends, and I've had the privilege of working with both of you in different ways over this past year, really, especially doing a lot of advocacy around unsolved homicides, reaching survivors all across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, not just in Metro Boston, and trying to bridge that connection to beautiful communities from Boston to Springfield and everything in between. So just one big round of applause and moment of love for those 2, Lisa and Jarix. If y'all are anything like me, you can feel the energy in the room right now. And I feel like on the opening ceremony for this Awareness Month, and throughout the Awareness Month, there's these moments where we gather and we feel love, we feel unity, we feel courage, we feel peace, we feel possibility. And those feelings are contagious, at least for me. And a lot of times that energy grows within me, and I feel like it's physical and it has to go somewhere. It has to do something. I can't just sit with it. Otherwise, I go crazy. This Awareness Month and the opportunity to build awareness and have hard conversations is where that energy can go. Their advocacy and policy work is an avenue where we can engage with those feelings, embrace them, and let them come out in a beautiful way that builds possibility. I want to just bring attention to a few ways that we can do that throughout this month. If you look into your program for today, in the booklet, there is a series of legislative priorities and ways that we can engage, and we can put that energy throughout the month. There are two bills in particular that I have been working on with Lisa and Jarix and other folks within our Survivors Network. One was mentioned by one of our sponsors today, Representative Chris Worrell, which is an act relative to bereavement leave. That bill is really important to me because the idea came from a conversation that happened during an Awareness Month years ago. I was sitting at the Peace Institute at a table surrounded by survivors where we were sharing experiences. And one survivor shared that after the loss of their loved one, they were not able to return to work. And it created an unnecessary strain on her and her family. And another survivor in the room said, "Yeah, me too. And I got like 2 days off at work. That was not enough." And it started this conversation where folks shared their shared experience and then did a little research and found out that in Massachusetts, bereavement leave is not a right protected under the law. So what do? We filed a bill. And that bill is progressing through the legislative process this year, and we still need your help to call your representatives, call your state senators, and ask that they support an act relative to bereavement leave. Another bill that has a very similar story is the acts relative to unsolved homicides, where a lot of our unsolved homicide ambassadors that are present in this room, or survivors that have unsolved cases for their loved ones, came together, built unity, had hard conversations, and we filed a bill that would address part of that issue. I can't overstate the importance of having conversations this month. It's where a lot of our policy work is born, and our advocacy connections are nourished. So there are more ways that you can engage. If you look into your program, there's some directions that will direct you to the Peace Institute website, where there's some instructions on how you can support some really important bills that are relative to survivors in Massachusetts. This is also Awareness Month that we are trying to expand beyond Massachusetts. She's not able to be here today, but Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley has refiled a resolution in Congress that would make Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month a national observance. And U.S. Senator Ed Markey is joining her in that effort on the Senate side, and we are so grateful for their leadership and their support. If you don't live in the city of Boston or within Congresswoman Presley's district, this is an opportunity for you to reach out to your congressional representative and say, hey, we need your support. So that when we reach out to advocates all across the country, they see that in Massachusetts, every congressional leader is in support of a national Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month. The last thing I want to mention is the individual advocacy and the individual work that happens throughout this month. You may have heard some principles of peace being sprinkled out throughout today's program. Those 7 principles of peace guide the Peace Institute and our team and what we do. Those principles being love, hope, faith, unity, courage, justice, and forgiveness. There is a pledge for peace that you can find within the program as well, where you can commit yourself today and every day to bringing to life those 7 principles of peace. That is advocacy too. It's advocating for yourself, strengthening your voice and your courage to speak out in this month and every month to come. I can't overstate that. The last thing I have to say before I sit back down is If you're feeling the itch and want to advocate today, you can. Right after this speaking program, there's an opportunity where we can walk throughout this beautiful building and distribute materials about all these important bills and budget line items and ways that this building and the folks that work within it, the folks that represent you in government, can support and bring to life so that the rights of survivors are preserved here in Massachusetts. So if you would like to participate in that advocacy opportunity, directly following this speaking program and before you leave the building, you can head to the table right by the front door of this room, and we can give you a folder and instructions on how to do that. But again, I just want to appreciate you all for being here and send you nothing but love and peace throughout this Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thanks, Faith. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Pace. Many times we think, or as survivors, we're used for photo ops. Come and take a picture in my worst day, in my worst time, because people are feeling sympathy for us. It's really not about us, it's about the front working part. And we do it because we want a loved one to matter. So it is that both and. People do take advantage of us. I was taken advantage 32 years ago, yet I also learned how to take advantage. That's why we've lasted 30 years later. It's a both and. So again, we are survivors. Someone we loved was murdered by someone somebody loves who murdered them. So we are losing right now at both ends. There are no winners in doing this work. We're coming to a close. I want to introduce Alexandra Dorrelus, one of the co-executive directors, to say some words, one as a sibling survivor and two as someone who was in Pace's role. So, Alexandra.
Thank you. I see you, Senator Collins. Thank you for being here. Thank you for co-hosting us. Hopefully you can come up and say a few words after me. Thank you, everybody. I was just in downtown traffic, and it's a little ghetto, and so I am trying to recalibrate. Thank you for being here with us this morning. You know, I came in at a piece of what you were saying, my sister Lisa, and I'm just so grateful for you, for your leadership. Sibling survivors, we're here. Jarix, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Surviving children are an important voice as well. I think often we hear the mothers are the leaders, the mothers of the movement, Clementina being one of them. And it's important, those voices are important. That's who should be guiding and leading and guiding us in what direction to go. And it's also very important that our voices don't get lost in that. And so while we take back seats to let our mothers shine and to let them grieve and to hold them and to, you know, support them, it's important that we have our spaces as well. And so I just thank you guys so much for taking up that space today and for sharing your heart with us today. I'm also very short. For those who don't know, I am Alexandra. Lewis Brown is my brother. I was 5 years old when Lewis was murdered. I'll let y'all do the math. I was 11 years old at the inaugural opening ceremony of the Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month. Right here, again, do the math, right here in the State House at the Grand Staircase. There were a lot less of us out there at the time. I mean, it might have looked like more people to my small self, but there were a lot less of us out there at the time. But it still felt like a powerful homecoming, a powerful space. You know, we knew that we were all there to grieve, but we also were there in celebration. And so it's just an interesting thing to look at us now and to see all of the survivor organizations in the back, on the sides, to see all of you in the stage. This is just a beautiful, incredible 25 years. It's a beautiful moment to celebrate. Over the years, the network was led by many of us here at the Peace Institute. Clementina has passed the mantle on back in 2015, will we say? 2014, 2015, and I was coordinating the statewide Survivors of Homicide Victims Network. You guys remember, we used to do those beautiful fancy galas. We used to do the Survivors Leadership Academy. We had a good time. We learned a lot of things together. Liam, you used to facilitate workshops during our Leadership Academy. The DA's office was there. It was a beautiful time. And we're bringing that back. We're bringing that back. We're bringing it back. I led the Survivors Network, and then when it was time to pass it on, many of you remember Danielle Bennett leading the Survivors Network, Janice Johnson leading the Survivors Network, and I am so excited to announce and to share that the mantle is continuing to be passed. Rasan and McConkie, who many of you know, do a lot of behind-the-scenes work, do a lot of low-key coordinating. They're low-key people, but they are making a huge impact. And McConkie's over there, if you could stand up. I know he doesn't like the shine. And Rasan is at the registration table. They're on opposite corners of the room holding y'all down. And that is what they do, and they will continue to do that. So, you know, while we have our Survivors Outreach Services team here in the front, Jasmine, Meredith, Ivandisa, held down by their leader, Stephanie, who's a row behind them. They're here for the crisis, and Rasan and McConkie are here to continue to support you to move your visions and your missions forward. So we're all working in this ecosystem together. I wanted to uplift to, there's something happening in the room today and something sort of happening in the world right now where there's a new generation of leadership. And I'm just gonna ask if the staff, did you do this already? I'm sorry, I was late. But if the staff of the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, if you stood, I'm gonna ask you to stand again because I like to see you stand. And because it is that important. The Peace Fellows, Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, Peace Fellows, please stand. Volunteers, please stand. Interfaith ambassadors, please stand. Board of Directors, past and present, please stand. Founding members of the organization, please stand. Survivor ambassadors, please stand. Look at y'all, look at us. Look at us. We are all about to stand at some point. Do y'all see what's happening here? Providers who serve survivors of homicide victims, please stand. Grassroots for GVP, you all are volunteers as well, so please stand. Partners, please stand. Everybody stand up because we're here doing this thing together. Everybody stand up. So new generation of leaders, this is our calling. This is what we have in front of us. This is what we were called to do. This is who we were called to lead. This is who we were called to hold down in our leadership. And so I also want all of you who've paved the way and who are continuing to be in the fight to know and to rest. When it is your time to rest, you can rest assured that we got your back. And we're ready to pick it up. So thank you all. I'm getting the head nod, it's time to go. I'm going to invite our co-host, Senator Collins, to come up and to say a few words.
I was going to do that.
Sorry, I took your shine.
Senator, come on down.
I do have one more thing I was supposed to say. Sorry, Pace is giving me the eyes. So we have a brand new logo. We unveiled our logo at our ceremonial groundbreaking for the new National Center of Healing, Teaching, and Learning. Thank you. And we are handing out, you probably got them at registration. If you did not, please get one before you leave. We have new commemorative keychains for you all that have our brand new logo. They have the 7 principles of peace going around in a circle. And because, you know, peace is cyclical, right? Peace is cyclical. The journey is ongoing and it's not linear. And so our new logo, our new SHVAM logo, and our new Peace Institute logo is on here. So please make sure you guys get that. Okay, I'm leaving. Thank you.
So it is new generation. Where is your co-executive director? Rachel, if you're here, please see again. One is at one end and one is at the other end. That's how they hold this together. Thank you. So I know Alexandra called our senator, yet this is the part where I really want to invite you guys to take pace up and go meet your senator. This is my senator, Senator Nick Collins, who again is there. He's a phone call away. Sometimes I'm not very nice to him because it's that rage. I know, Cindy. Yeah, I know. I'm working on being nice. That's my new for next year. I'm working on being nicer. Yet, though, Senator Collins, this is our house. We vote them in. They really work for us. And if we don't connect with them, if the only time we want to go after people is when we're pissed off, then they're going to shut the door down on us. When I first started this, those people would see me coming and run the other way because I was coming with venom in my blood. And I realized, yeah, that's not cool. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I'm going through. And then really, once I got to know him and Rep. Worrell, realizing they too are human beings. They too are within the community, and they too want to be a part of this journey. So please, a huge love welcome to my senator, Senator Nick Collins.
Thank you, Tina. And I wouldn't say you're not nice, but you're like my mom, who scolds me from time to time when I need it. But no, it's a great honor to be here and to kick this month off. And want to thank my colleague in the House who's done great work here, Representative Chris Worrell, who's done great work in the House of Representatives, both on funding and to move legislation that we're discussing today. I will say, and Pace spoke to it a bit, but one of the bills luckily landed in my committee, the Committee on State Administration and Regulatory Oversight, an act relative to unsolved homicides, and we had unanimous support from our committee to move that forward. So it's on its final step in the Senate Committee on Ways and Means to becoming law. And I do want to thank everybody at the Peace Institute and the family here as we're thinking about giving thanks and gratitude this month for not just what you're doing, but how. I mean, the Peace Pledge talks about that in the way that you've been able to move people and create sort of revolution, not just here in Massachusetts, but across the country, which is why it's such a point of pride to be a part of the new center that's going to be built in Dorchester, which speaks to both the need, but also the expertise and the sophistication of what you're doing. And I think a part of this awareness that has been provided is to really identify for people what the issue of trauma is. And I think had been glanced over as sort of this hard to pin down element of people's grief and what that actually does. And now we know it's got medical scientific impact that we know has to be addressed. And what that impact is felt is not just by an individual and a family, but an entire community. And so I'm grateful for that. And Tina brought it up about, there's losers on both sides of violence, and there's no winners. And I know our district attorney has approached the issues of violence that way, but still committed to justice. So I want to thank our district attorney for all he's done and the way he's done it, and his team, by centering the people most impacted. And I think about my own experience. It's 20 years ago, October, my cousin was killed out in Springfield, Mass. And, the rage that we had through the trial, and, we got a bit of justice. They did get out eventually. That individual died a tragic death soon after, but it didn't really bring us joy that I thought earlier in my life it may have. And so this pledge is so critical in being able to channel that energy and to piggyback on what was said earlier by Alexandra and Pace. Putting that energy to work here is going to make these bills pass. It's going to make budgets increase and funding may be made available for the work that you all are so committed to doing. So it's just an honor to be here today, and I just want to express my gratitude for you all. Proud to be a sponsor of this event, as well as the cause here at the State House. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you again. We're closing. I'm the last person. We are closing. What I want to do is really just share some next things that are coming up to make sure that we continue to stay in the loop. I just want to thank all of you for making today happen. Again, our volunteers, Peace Institute staff, our Survivors Outreach Services Healing, Support Services, Community Reentry Services, Generation Peace, Education and Training, and the Policy and Advocacy team. All of you who are at the resource table, thank you again for taking your time, for being present. Eventually, you can go and still have the conversation with those. I want to give you just a few highlights, though, because it's important that you know this, because this doesn't always make the media. New Bedford, Buddy Andrade. If anyone is here from New Bedford, if you don't know anything about New Bedford, find Buddy Andrade. 25 years ago, Buddy Andrade has created a Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month committee. If you're in New Bedford and you're going back tonight, they will do a vigil honoring a remembrance vigil at Survivors Peace Garden at the corner of Russell and Acushnet Ave, and then they will walk to Gomes. Again, the Unsolved Homicide Ambassadors, working with the Boston Police Department Homicide Unit and the Unsolved Dashboard. That is something that is coming to life. They came to present to the Peace Institute, and we learned the back end of things that we really don't know about. And as survivors, we want it to happen right away. So we will be working with them more to, again, bring the dashboard to life to the community, to be an example also for other cities and towns that don't understand how we have a lasting relationship with the Boston Police Department Homicide Unit that is sustainable. So again, thank you to our police department for the work that they do. If you have an unsolved, Natasha is here. Fill out a form. We will work again to make sure the officers get the form of the unsolved homicide so that you can be added to the dashboard. I also, I also want to acknowledge, I think he's leaving. Alexandra shared, we're bringing back our Leadership Academy. One of the things I want to acknowledge, our district attorney, Kevin Hayden. This is for survivors, by survivors, again, working with the district attorney's office from different counties, but led by our district attorney. This is available to all of us. We don't have to wait till there's a solved case. This is a way of understanding what happens as we prepare. So this is, the district attorney funded the publication, the printing of this. This is done in addition to English. It's in Cantonese, no, Spanish, and I think Cape Verdean Creole. Those are the two things. So we will be working with you more in terms of our Leadership Academy and working with those of you who are serving survivors, to bring us on so that we can begin to do some training and understanding where this is going. So, and where is he? Dee, I'm going to put you on the spot. McConkie will follow up with you. But we also want to have a setting the table where we're having a conversation with you, and everybody then can see and know the work that you are doing and the investment in this and the work that you and your team are doing. So McConkie, make sure you follow up with the DA. Where are you, McConkie? There you go. But again, with your team, and so we're going to get that done. The holidays are here. You've got to take care of yourself. Liam said it. Our senator said it. We want to put on Academy Award performance. We want to set up. We want to do the best. There's an empty seat at our table. Let's take time to acknowledge that empty seat so that we can continue to celebrate and honor ourselves. We have to honor ourselves first, okay? The invitation is still open. Our voices are. I'm a very angry Black Latina woman, okay? That's not going anywhere yet. Instead of leading with my anger, I lead with my love, my faith, my hope, and my possibility in making sure my child name is not a number. And that's what I lead with. And that's what we're all leading with. So it's the both end. Do you guys remember that commercial? Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. Okay, that's where I see myself, all right? So we're using our verses. There's a proverb that says, until the lion tells their story, the tale of the hunt will always be glorified by the hunter. Within our community, especially communities of color, it's always about this is a bad neighborhood. There's a new theme called Murder Triangle. Survivors, it is time that we step up. We are not defined by murder. We want to shift that narrative to peace triangle. That's the campaign we're going on. It doesn't minimize the fact that someone we love was murdered on the streets. We are taking control and shifting that narrative. Opportunities to tell your story. We're working with Northeastern University School of Law on wrongful convictions through the eyes of families of murdered victims. We know the names of those that have been wrongfully convicted. Again, our justice system acknowledges their wrong and frees those that are wrongfully convicted. Justice has been served. For those families who believe that their loved ones, the person that killed their loved one, was sentenced to prison, all of a sudden it is now an unsolved homicide. Justice hasn't been served. So we are working with Northeastern University. If you know of anyone who believed that their loved one's case was the right person, was convicted and now are free, where's Rasan? See Rasan, give your names. What we want to do is bring you together, create a space so that your story can be told, and again, working to shift. Whatever is good for those who are wrongfully convicted, we have to make sure that those families continue to get justice, whatever that justice means, okay? Again, I shared about our Survivors Court Preparation Guide. We're going to do a Leadership Academy, have conversation, but we're working on version 2. There's a Peace Fellow here from Harvard. I don't know if Sophia, I hope I got your name right, if Sophia is here, but we're going to be working on version 2 of this guide. And what's missing in this guide is victim services in the Department of Correction, victim services in parole and probation. So Liam, they will also be reaching out to you to get your expertise on that. So this is, again, will be version 3, preparing us and going through the court and bringing in corrections, parole, and probation. When someone who has now done their time is coming out on parole and probation, that's also a part that nobody knows exists unless you're going through it, all right? So here is what is happening and who is observing this month. I know I'm gonna close it up, Pace, I'm gonna close it up. why this month matters, okay? It's an awareness month that creates dedicated space for healing, teaching, and learning, remembrance, advocacy, and awareness during this time of the year. Massachusetts is always leading. Boston is always leading. The statutory recognition, Massachusetts General Law, Section 15 HHHH requires that. It is a law, people. It really is a law. What happens when laws are broken? Okay, so that's that. Local leadership. The Boston City Council formally recognized survivors of homicide victims, and it's observed statewide. Federal momentum, you heard Pace talk about Councilor Presley. Pace, if we can get that number, that way we can share it, and Senator Markey. Here's what's happening. Other states, proclamation and local recognition. Connecticut. Under Connecticut General Statutes 1029, the governor must annually issue a proclamation November 20th to December 20th. Michigan, the governor issues annual proclamation recognizing survivors of homicide victims Awareness Month. Anchorage, Alaska, the Anchorage Assembly passed resolution officially recognizing November 20th to December 20th. The United States Virgin Islands, proclamation led by survivor. Little tiny Bernadette is a force to be reckoned with. North Carolina, again, led by survivor. Newcomer, I don't know if she is here. Is Heidi here from Athol, Massachusetts? She didn't make it. So Heidi is the Assistant Town Planner and Grants Administration in the town of Athol. Heidi reached out to us to say, can I get a letter of support? And she had all of the chief of police in, I don't even know where Athol is, but in that type of Massachusetts. And I called and says, well, what do you want from me? I'm not a police officer. Do you want me to share it with our commissioner? What do you want from me? She says, well, can you write a letter of support? Sure, I wrote a letter of support. Late Tuesday night, I'll send you her email. She says, hi, everyone. I received it. I am pleased to say the Athol Select Board unanimously adopted the attached proclamation of Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month support letter. She writes, they read the proclamation, signed it, and it has a nice, shiny gold seal on it. This is someone who was so excited. But what they're dealing with is the domestic violence that turns into homicide. So again, this is the work that's being done. This is not an isolated issue. All right? So what I did, we have Aswad Thomas, who runs a national crime victim survivors. I sent Aswad an email today to say, we are going to need you and your national network of survivors of crime victims to help us move this piece forward across the Commonwealth. Carrie Singleton, who comes every year, talks about his dad. He couldn't make it today, he's sick. We are going to work with him to do something in New York. And Chéry is excited for us to do that. So we're going to be traveling to New York. I want to close by also saying, as we get ready for our 30th anniversary for the Mother's Day Walk for Peace, there will be a Peace Walk rally on February 1st. Our Peace Commissioner, Cindy Digg, will be the one leading that. So again, this month, let us continue to honor our loved ones, uplift us as survivors of leaderships, and advocate for policies. Wait a minute, there's one more thing. You guys have no, trauma team. Can you bring your flyer for me, please? They gave me a note. So as we go and we leave here, network, take photos, reporters are here, photographers are here. I think we're going to do the last team photo that we're not doing the team photo that we normally do? Okay, thank you. So what I want us to do to say again, they've been doing this for 8 years, and I don't know why we didn't know about this. The Boston Trauma Team in the Boston Common, did you all know this? Silent awareness demonstration to commence Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month. Boston Common, Liberty Mall, the green space behind the Shaw Memorial across from the State House. They've got pinwheels. If you're leaving and you want to go to that memorial, the silent awareness demonstration, take a pinwheel, talk to them. They will let you know what to do. This is something that needs to be made public. Once we leave here, before you go home, that's something that you can do. I am going to stop now, and I am going to say again, thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for showing up, for showing out. And thank you for keeping the memories of our loved ones at the forefront of what is a national movement to transform pain into purpose and to also transform the way society responds to families of murdered victims. The country is watching us, and we are ready to lead. Do you accept that challenge? Thank you so much.